Alcohol plays a special role in the Witcher universe. The most interesting, embarrassing, and hilarious adventures often happen to Geralt of Rivia while drinking various alcoholic beverages. As they say, there is something to remember, but nothing to tell the children. Just think of drinking mandrake moonshine in the house of the vampire Regis, as described in the book series, or hunting a vampire who likes the blood of alcoholics, as well as drinking with random bards on one of the roads of Velen. The latter two episodes are shown in the third part of the game. All these stories are unique and bring a smile to your face. In this video, we have chosen 5 special moments in the gaming story of the White Wolf, 5 cases when the Witcher Geralt of Rivia got so drunk that he did absolutely fantastic things, making millions of gamers around the world laugh.
Beer inspires great conversation.
No, that was beautiful, what you said.
This is the old Witcher, representing, as usual, the school of the beer. As usual, before starting the video, the Old Witcher team would like to thank our patrons for the support in helping the channel grow and allow us to release videos every week. Also, the Old Witcher warns that alcohol is dangerous and should not be abused. The real world is not a game universe, and man is not a witcher these days. We are not as resistant to toxins and poisons, which alcohol partly is.
Here, boy.
Let us start with a quest and a character that has remained in the memory of everyone who played through the second Witcher game. It is all due to the fact that his name is literally screamed in your ears, and the quest connected with him will show you more than once what alcohol abuse can lead to. In the Cape Benny camp, there are several completely drunk soldiers who can barely stand on their feet. They keep calling and calling for some Audrin, their drinking companion who somehow got lost during their drunken escapades. At first, Geralt can ignore them, but then he will need to get some important information from these soldiers, so he will have to help with the search of their missing friend. Thus begins the aptly named quest called In Servitia Veritas. In order to gain the trust of the soldiers and get the necessary information, the Witcher must, of course, find their friend Audrin. After a search, which would not take too long, the missing man can be found behind the Cape Benny camp at the entrance to a cave. Apparently, some lady took him there. Audrin was probably expecting a very specific intimate action from her, but he did not get it. So he got upset and fell to the ground. He fell asleep. He did not seem to mind the dirt on his face at all, and the earth and stones were softer for him than any featherbed. Geralt has to pick up the still drunk Audrin and bring him back to the camp, deceiving the guards in the process. This is not an easy task, as the drunkard is always trying to fall over and fall asleep. When he wakes up though, he often does not remember anything, so it's a challenge to get him on his feet and explain who you are. Gathering a gang of Audrin's friends along the way, Geralt will still be able to reunite the drinking buddies. And this occasion, of course, should be marked by another round of drinks. Audrin is grateful to Geralt for leading him back to the camp and now calls him his best friend, inviting the latter for the drink. For the drink, that is.
Hear that, suckers? Now step the fuck away from my best mate.
The Witcher can agree and drink some beer to find out the necessary information from the drunk and muddled drinking companions. The conversation will be most amusing, but it still needs to be conducted properly. After all, conversing with drunk people is an art in itself, because the rules of conventional dialogue do not apply there. Either way, the Witcher will emerge from the tent drunk, with his head spinning, and an unforgettable experience under his belt.
Ooh, the vodka's nicely chilled. Gentlemen, cheers!
Damn all dissonances!
Ooh, delicious. Nothing like a good belt of liquor.
Moving into the first game of the Witcher series, we immediately ask ourselves, what is better than drinking with charismatic drunks? Probably just drinking with charismatic drunks who are also your friends. Therefore, at number 5 on this list is the alcohol marathon of Geralt, Dandelion and Zoltan from the first part of the game. It will take place after the Witcher decides which of the ladies, Shani or Triss, his heart belongs to more and who he should listen to in the matter of Alvin. Both red-headed beauties would be especially grateful to Geralt if he took their side, but in return they would demand something else from him and give him very specific hints. Just in time, Dandelion shows up. The bard invites Geralt to have a drink with him and Zoltan, and the Witcher, tormented by a headache and heavy thoughts because of the women, agrees. In the course of this drunken escapade, all three of them will try to figure out what is going on in these women's heads. They will come to the conclusion that it is impossible to find an answer to this question because women can say one thing, think another, and ask for a third. After getting drunk enough, the companions may decide that a trip to a brothel will help them understand women's thoughts. It is unclear, though, how this action would allow them to answer the question of a woman's feelings. Returning to Triss or Shani, Geralt will barely be able to stay on his feet, and to get rid of this state, the Witcher had better meditate a little. Going to his beloved in a drunken frenzy will not end well, and the secret of a woman's train of thought will remain undiscovered. In the third installment of the game series, we'll learn that drinking can have a special atmosphere if it has a meaning and a reason, and if it's not just an ordinary alcohol marathon. What gives the drinking at Kaer Morhen a special charm is the sense that it is one of the last quiet nights before important, complex, and irreparable events begin to unfold. It takes place before Uma is put to the trial of the grasses and shows that a good booze binge does not lose its relevance even in the face of the greatest responsibility and danger. It helps people relax for a while at least and forget everything that is going on around them. The witches in question, Geralt, Eskel, and Lambert, are old friends who grew up together, went through many trials together, and survived even the most difficult times together. As they gathered at Kaer Morhen, they began a friendly conversation about what had happened in their lives during the time they had not seen each other. Yennefer sat with them as well. They were having light drinks, but at one point, the sorceress got tired of the company of three witchers and went to sleep. And then, after the quote-unquote strict mommy left, they began to test the endurance of the witches' livers. At first, Lambert got out a real drink for monster fighters, a cocktail with a colorful name, the Gauntlet, made of alcohol diluted by half with white gall elixir.
Ooh, now that's a kick in the liver. What is it?
The Gauntlet. Equal parts spirit and white gull. What's that look about? Yen's gone to bed. Time for some serious drinking.
Damn straight. Pour us another. Bottoms up.
After a while, all three of them were so drunk they could barely string words together in sentences. They started playing a game of Never Have I Ever, in which one person talks about something they have never done and the others drink if they have done it. So we learned that Eskel had slept with a succubus and Lambert had escaped from his mistress's window. The drinking continued until the witchers ran out of alcohol. Eskel went for more, while Geralt and Lambert were left to figure out their friendly relationship, to right the wrongs, etc.
Lambert, bud, gotta tell you something.
Yeah?
Sometimes you're a real jackass, but I love you, brother.
And sometimes you're a real blowhard. But damn it, I'd go to hell and back for you. Come here, you oaf.
Eskel, however, did not return for a long time, and because of that he had to be found. It turned out that he did not reach the hidden drink but just fell down and passed out. Yes, the amount of alcohol consumed, because of which the toxin-resistant witcher fell into a blackout, is something we don't even want to think about. No sir. Realizing that more drinking was no longer necessary, the witchers decided to find other means of entertainment. They were having such a good time. The only thing missing was a lady. But where would they come from in Kaer Morhen? The ladies, that is. Waking Yennefer up would never be a good idea, would it? Lambert, however, had a real bright idea, or so he thought. In the tower, there was a megascope built by the sorceress, which she used to communicate with the Lodge of Sorceresses. They just needed to turn on the megascope and invite the sorceresses to the party. Or better yet, first change into Yennefer's dresses, so that the sorceresses would not be frightened by the harsh look of witchers. Yeah, perfect plan. It's a pity Geralt did not remember how exactly Yennefer contacted the sorceresses. So the megascope malfunctioned, and instead of ladies, the image of some Nilfgaardian sorcerer appeared before the witchers with dresses on. At the sight of them, he went into a real panic. Then Yennefer appeared and, like a mother, gave the overdrunk men some hard talking and nagging and sent them to their beds. The only pity was that she decided to give Geralt a special treatment, leaving him to sleep on the floor in his underwear. The next morning, Vesemir joined in actively hard-talking on the witch's actions, but the special memories of this trio of friends cannot be taken away. A drinking episode is a drinking episode, and when such an event has a pleasant ending, it stays in the memory even more strongly. In the first game of the Witcher series, There were a lot of special events related to women, succubi, vampires, dryads, and other humanoids or the female sex that were pleasant for Geralt. Shani, an old acquaintance of the Witcher, has decided to organize a small party at her house. But in order to organize everything, she needs Geralt's help. It is necessary for the Witcher to get some booze and also bring a friend, so that the company would be bigger. When the White Wolf carries out this errand, the house rented by the young medic becomes filled with revelry. It is Shani who brings Geralt and Dandelion together in the same room for the first time since the massacre in Rivia. The bard looks at the Witcher as if he were the living dead and talks about how he was sure Geralt had died. He tells the White Wolf about his Hansa, about the massacre, and mentions Ciri and Yennefer. Geralt remembers nothing. There is no time to find out the details though. It is better to discuss everything over a good drink. Geralt, Dandelion, Shani, and a guest the Witcher has invited will discuss various seemingly useless things. Shani will talk about her work and the Battle of Brenna. The bard will probe the Witcher's memory to see up to what point in his life he remembers something. Geralt will remember Regis and the events of days gone by. At one point, however, the company discovers that there are no snacks left at all. There was only lard and pickles on the first floor, where the nasty housekeeper woman from whom Shani had rented a room lived. Geralt would sneak in unnoticed and grab some food. The drinking will move on to the next stage, when you not only want to drink, but also to sing. Dandelion will play his ballad, and after it is over, when the friends begin to disperse, Geralt and Shani will be alone. The young medic will tell Geralt about their little affair in Oxenford, and then will not let the Witcher regret that he was alone with her. In the second game of the Witcher series shows the limit to which a person can get drunk, an absolutely unconscious state in which you do completely inadequate things without worrying about any norms of morality, logic, and consequences. That is why it is at the top of the list. The morning after the binge, Geralt had to do some real investigating to figure out what had happened during the night. After all, remembering almost nothing, Geralt of Rivia suddenly woke up with a terrible headache, in just his underwear, with a new tattoo on his neck, and on the bank of some river outside the city where his last memories of the previous night ended. It started out innocuously though. He remembered being in the company of Temerian soldiers and Ves. The former was celebrating the destruction of the idol of the ancient god Veopatis, who was worshipped by some of the inhabitants of Flotsam. Geralt beat Ves at knife throwing, and then the peasants who did not want their idol destroyed stormed in. Commander Vernon wanted to beat up these commoners, but at Ves's request, Geralt could intervene to stand up for the people and calm Vernon down with brute force. As a result of this awkward situation, Ves, Geralt, and the Temerians decided to go out for a drink. The vodka kept flowing more and more. The Witcher was getting drunker and drunker. He defeated a couple of blue-striped soldiers in hand-to-hand combat. Everyone shared interesting stories, told some tales, and then the memory was gone. Waking up on the shore, the Witcher must find out what happened during the night. It turns out that he and the Temerians, at maximum alcohol intoxication, arrived at a brothel. They ordered 5 ladies, but instead of using their direct services, announced that the ladies should take the men to the port on horseback. You see, the drunks wanted to cross the river riding the brothel workers. The latter, of course, were shocked by such plans, but the Witcher and the Temerians paid well, so the ladies even tried to fulfill the wishes of the drunks. They undressed down to their underwear, not for love-making, but to make it easier to carry them. It is worth saying that this idea did not work out, and somehow the Witcher just ended up there by the reservoir and fell asleep. Between these events, Geralt decided to become a soldier of the Blue Stripes, so he wished to get a traditional tattoo. The wish of a drunken Witcher is the law. So the next morning, Geralt woke up with an interesting picture on his neck. Thanks to Ves, all his belongings were collected and saved, for which the Witcher will be extremely grateful to her. The crazy night was over, but the memory of it will remain for centuries, not only with the Temerians and the brothel workers, but also with the inhabitants of Flotsam who watched Geralt of Rivia try to swim across the river, and not just swim across, but do it on horseback of a lush-breasted wench. That is all for today though. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell to not miss any of our videos. Let us know in the comments if the author may have gotten anything wrong. Tell us about other drinking episodes in the story of Geralt of Rivia that did not make this top, or about similar situations in your real life. Do support our work on Patreon, or maybe with a direct sponsored subscription here on YouTube. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon when the old Witcher speaks once more.